Stellar Blade is one of the most anticipated releases of 2024, and for good reason. It seems like it is going to be a genuinely fun experience without an agenda behind it, and that is rare for this day and age for video games. But now we are finding out that it has been officially rated by the ESRB, and it features things like skin-tight, flesh-tone bodysuits, and there appears to be no censorship in sight. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, when it comes to video games like this, I know we all get worried that they are going to be toned down or altered in some way by the developers, and even though the developers of this title have been extremely vocal and they have been sticking to their guns and they have been defending their product tooth and nail, which is amazing to see, we've all still been kind of worried that it could release and end up being a little bit altered because it is a PlayStation exclusive, and we know how Sony is. But we officially have an ESRB rating, and it is looking very positive for this game right now. So let's head on over to the ESRB webpage. It has gotten an official M for mature rating with blood and gore, language, suggestive themes, and violence. And the rating summary is this is an action-adventure RPG in which players assume the role of a super soldier battling an invading alien force. From a third-person perspective, players explore apocalyptic environments and complete mission objectives while battling enemies like alien creatures, humanoids in melee style combat. I remember when this game was first announced just a few years ago, and we all thought that this game was not actually going to release, that it wasn't actually going to launch, and we were all going to be so hyped for absolutely nothing. And to see now like an official ESRB description, it's so exciting because we over the past few months have seen so much with this game, and it was a game that, again, years ago we thought looked so awesome, but to finally see this is great. It says players use blades, machine guns, and laser blasters to kill enemies. Battles are fast-paced, highlighted by sword slashes, large explosions, and realistic gunfire. Blood splatter effects occur frequently as enemy creatures are slashed and dismembered. This is actually something people were slightly worried about even after the last teaser, because we didn't really see a lot of like splatter effects in the gameplay that we recently got, so a lot of people were a little bit worried, but it seems like we don't have to be because it does feature blood splatter effects. And it says some cutscenes and battle sequences depict close-up images of impalement, dismemberment, and decapitation, but this is really what we all wanted to know, and we finally have confirmation. The game depicts some female characters in revealing costumes like deep cleavage, skin-tight flesh-toned bodysuits, with breasts that jiggle during combat. The word shit appears in the game, so we are going to have jiggle physics like we've already seen, but it's just so good to see this reconfirmation because we all have been just so worried about the final product, even though we finally are only a few months away. But when we have a game with such suggestive themes, and it has been delayed 3 times at this point over the span of a few years, I completely understand why people were kind of waiting until we finally got official confirmation by the ESRB that the game was going to feature all of these things, and there is a reason why so many people have pre-ordered this title and why the pre-orders have actually skyrocketed. I did do a separate video on this, but the official Stellar Blade X account had posted Stellar Blade's pre-orders have reached number 2 on the PlayStation Store US. Thank you. I mean, people are definitely not afraid to, pre-order a good-looking game, and this just further proves the developers can make whatever they want without censoring things or without adding disclaimers, and this game completely proves it. We have seen so many developers over the years get so afraid when their titles face a little bit of backlash, and then they end up censoring them, toning them down, they end up altering that original vision they had because they are ultimately afraid of being canceled and for their product to not sell any copies. But we have said so many times over the years that when you are a developer and you are extremely passionate about your project, fans can tell. Fans can tell when you are making something that you genuinely believe in, and that is when you gain extra sales because of your vision, because people have the faith that you have in yourself and your product. And this game completely proves that audiences now are the same audiences of 20 years ago, okay? When the gaming industry was not afraid to highlight a female character's best assets, when they were not afraid to market their games with extremely attractive female characters and very masculine male characters. We just need this type of content, and there is still a market of people that want this type of game, that want these types of character designs. And I'm so sick and tired of seeing a handful of Puritans on social media bitch and moan and groan and whine and complain, and then developers end up listening to them thinking, well, wow, if there's a few people criticizing our game, maybe there will be even more, and we don't want to offend anybody, we don't want to bother anybody, and then they end up changing their title around, and that is not what is happening with Stellar Blade. I mean, it's very clear from what the director said they were not afraid to follow through with their vision. Stellar Blade director rejects criticism of lead character sex appeal. I don't want to see something normal. I want to see something more ideal. And this is the exact way that so many people think. We are talking about a form of art here. Video games, yes, are art. And of course, that means that you want to see, in some cases, the ideal. You want to see the above average. And it's fine to have video games where all of the characters look normal and look okay, but we also need plenty of games where the characters are, again, very attractive feminine females and masculine men. Offering his thoughts on the topic to Games Radar, speaking through a translator, explained that when it came to Eve's design, we put special attention on the back of the character because the player is always facing the back of the character when they're playing. This is absolutely hilarious. I absolutely love this statement. That's why, we did this. That's what they see the most of, so we thought that was pretty important. Oh, I'm sure that a lot of people are definitely going to appreciate the, attention to detail here, but opening that the choice to present a character with such a sexually appealing design has become somewhat of a brave thing to be going for or attempting. They told the outlet that in terms of the very harsh reaction Eve may elicit from global audiences or the terminally online Westerners, I personally think that compared to movies, animations, manga, and so on, people are especially strict towards games. In games, there are all these views that people have, which are not always positive about unrealistically beautiful characters. I mean, I have talked about this so many times over the years. There are tons of people online who think that, if you want an attractive female character in a video game, oh, you just want to jerk off to her and you're a disgusting individual, which of course is absurd. Many people just want to see the unrealistically beautiful or the unrealistically handsome, and that's what I want, he concluded. When I play a game, I would like to see someone who is better looking than myself. I want to see something more ideal. I think that is very important in a form of entertainment. This is, after all, entertainment targeted for adults, which of course I agree with all of these statements. That I honestly think that overall, these were fantastic things to say, and it will bring even more people into their game and get even more people interested in Stellar Blade. I personally want this game to be such a massive success at this point, just because these developers have gone for what they believed in from the very start, that yes, sometimes you have to give the people what they want, and sometimes people don't want to see something normal or average. They want to see something more ideal. And that is exactly what they are doing with the male and the female character designs within this title. I cannot wait for Stellar Blade's release. I am going to be live streaming it at launch. I am so hyped for it, like so many of you are. And I will be keeping my eye on this as we, get closer to launch to see if there are any other statements made about the game by the developers or the director. If they do, of course, come out with any other amazing statements like this. But right now, the ESRB rating has proved that nothing is toned down, which is amazing for the future of this game. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.